What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and I'm back after a week, and I didn't plan to be gone for a week, but I got sick, couldn't talk, couldn't do anything on Friday, wasn't recovered by Monday, so didn't have reviews for Friday and Monday. Both shows suck, that's all we gotta say. Tonight was a damn good show. We had Jay Lethal versus Adam Cole. We had a 8-man tornado tag team match with the Andrade family offers versus the Hardys, Darby, and Sting. We also had Jericho Appreciation Society versus the Dark Order, CM Punk versus Dax Hardwood, MJF speaks for the first time since screwing Wardlow last week, and so much more. We had our first match, of course, with CM Punk versus Dax Harwood. Why this match is happening, it's anyone's guess, but it's AEW giving you a pretty good match here. Both men lock up straight away. Oh yeah, Cash Wheeler did not come out with Dax Harwood, as we know. Also, Tully Blanchard has been fired by these guys a couple weeks ago. So what happens with these guys from here on out is anybody's guess. So, CM Punk, Dax Harwood, really good match here. It is really weird to see either Dax or Cash, when the other one's not injured, wrestling a singles match. Maybe Cash is injured, don't know. But we get closer towards the end of the match. Punk kicks him out, and Dash's head slams onto the bottom turnbuckle, which immediately leads to a couple of back and forth pinfall attempts. Punk hits the running knee in the corner, but Dax Harwood blocks the classic running bulldog, which all this happened after they did the, I think it's called the Bret Hart spot, where Bret Hart missed the perfect spot where they suplexed out of the ring. It looked horrible. Like, Dax Harwood looked like he hit his head on the mat. Cash actually had to come back out because he wanted to check on his partner. Now, usually because they are part of the Pinnacle still, you would think that he's going to cheat and help Dax, or try to help Dax win. That does not happen, actually. Harwood then versus a GTS, and this time he locks in the sharpshooter, which they are telling you Bret Hart is coming. Bret Hart is coming. When? Do not know. Punk rolls over, transitions into the Anaconda Vice, and gets the tap-out win. CM Punk picks up the win in a pretty good opening match. Now, after the match is over, he gets up and starts doing, motioning he wants the title. And yeah. Excalibur's like, does he mean the TNT title or the world title? Of course he means the world title. CM Punk is not coming back to AEW to win the TNT title. He is here for the World Championship. Should CM Punk ever hold the World Heavyweight Championship? Yeah, he can, but I'd say no. I don't think he needs to. I'd rather see somebody like him get a title up. Now, if he's going to win the title, that would be where the next match between him and MJF is, and MJF was the one to take the title off of him, which would be the ultimate put over for CM Punk. We'll talk more about MJF here in a bit. Backstage, the JAS is back there, and Jericho was talking about the picture that they shared. They shared a picture of 12-year-old John Silver getting a picture with his hero in Chris Jericho. So, yeah. He said, Daniel Garcia's, we said it last week, we beat up professional wrestlers. And they will show them they can't hang. Jericho says they will future endeavor them, just like they did those backstabbing Santana Ortiz and that joke Eddie Kingston. I want to say Kofi Kingston for some stupid reason. Who are gone now and they'll never come back. You have Matt Moran look at one side and go, oh, there ain't nobody over here. There ain't nobody nearby. You see Angelo on the other side go, oh, look, there's nobody over here. And you're wondering, I was so hoping that after because Angelo did his first, when Matt does his, that they would just be sitting there and just be fighting these guys, but no. They're holding it off. We will eventually get these two getting these three guys coming back and beating the hell out of these guys. Now, obviously, it's very obvious that the team of Danielson, the group of Danielson and Moxley and whoever else they have with them is going to go up against the JAS. Obviously, that is obviously what you're gonna do here. But we gotta wait because you only have 2 guys right now, and you're gonna need more in the. We'll get to the name here because we get the name later. Moving on here, we had our 8-man tornado tag team match: the Hardy, Sting, and Darby versus Private Party, the Butcher, and the Blade. As the Hardys and Sting and Darby make their entrances first, the Butcher and the Blade and the Private Party are coming down, and before anything happens, Darby decides, fuck this shit, I ain't waiting for them to get in the ring. Dives to the outside. Sting says, well, you know what, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to not let you outdo me. He does hesitate for a minute, but eventually dives to the outside as well. Everything's in the chaos. The Hardys come out to fight the Butcher and the Blade. Matt in the ring uses the lead attack in the corner. However, as Darby dominates the Butcher, Andrade appears and whips him with a belt. Allows the Butcher, because they fought up into the crowd, allows the Butcher to grab Darby like he's going to powerbomb him, but he swings back and forth with this guy and then throws him down the stairs. Back in the ring, Matt hits the side effect on Cassidy too, but then Mike Quinn appears from behind and rocks him with a trash can into the head. Jeff brawls with the Blade and the Butcher in the concourse while Private Party hits a double suplex to Matt on the ramp. They fight the entrance tunnel, but Matt manages to take control, dropping Quinn on the ramp. He looks to send Cassidy off the ramp with the side effect, but Quinn comes over, makes the save with a low blow. They hit a double side effect on Matt out from the out to the below through a table. They're out for a bit. We go to the concourse. Darby and Sting are beating and punching beating up the Butcher and Blade, who are set on the table. Jeff gets a fucking ladder. Jeff has been here 3 weeks. This is his second match. And this motherfucker is climbing on a ladder, getting to, there's something, he's standing on this piping or something, and does a swanton bomb to these guys. This is obviously where the t-shirts were, because he swantons and there are boxes just blow out everywhere. So, yeah. People want to sit there and buy a new t-shirt, man, and you're just destroying the merchandise table. What the hell? So, Private Party take Matt Hardy back to the ring, but he's able to king out. Sting, Darby and Jeff are out of this match. It's just Sting and Matt versus Private Party from here on out. Cassidy rocks him with the chair, but this fires up Sting, and Sting starts dominating, hitting Stinger splash in the corner. He ends up missing one on Isaiah, following a kick with a kick. They look for the gin and juice, but Sting counters, grabbing the man and trying to go for the Scorpion Death Drop, but he didn't have his footing, so he's got him in the Dragon Sleeper and falls down and tries to get himself back up. He's trying to steady himself without losing the Dragon Sleeper so he can pick him up and hit the Scorpion Death Drop as Matt hits the Twist of Fate. 1, 2, 3, match is over. The babyfaces win. Again, Jeff just got here 3 weeks ago. He had his first match last week against Private Party, and he's here already, jumping off of high places to a table. Yes, there were boxes underneath, but you can't excuse it because it was the merchandise table. It was where the merchandise was. It was where your t-shirts at, and they were t-shirt boxes. So Jeff destroying the merchandise table so people can't sit there and buy your t-shirts. Come on, man. Gotta be more. It was a crazy match. It is what it is. I'm not a big fan of these. They're fine to have, but it's like we just had a 6-man tornado tag team match at Revolution 2 weeks ago. We need to have another one this week? No, we did not. Says FTR has shown Cash Wheeler puts over his partner, but he says then the Ass Boys think that because their father has some respect that they get grandfathered in, but they don't. Dax says he can't stand the spoiled brat, And if they think they can just take their spot, it's a problem. Hurwood says this is the best team in the business. And he refuses to call them ass boys. He'll call them Billy's sons, and they will see them next week. Top guys, out. So next week it will be they will be the Ass Boys, aka the Gun Club, versus FTR. That is your first match announced for next week. Could be good. We'll have to see what happens. Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley versus the Varsity Blondes. Back to this. It seems like they're going to be turning FTR babyface for now. If you're bringing Bret Hart in, I don't think they want to have Bret Hart be a heel manager. And obviously the Owen Hart Cup's coming in. It would probably be around that time that Bret Hart makes his return to AEW, if everybody remembers. Bret Hart was the guy at Double or Nothing 2019 to show off the AEW World Heavyweight Championship for the first time. Moving on here to Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley versus the Varsity Blondes. Okay, so here's my thing. I love the Varsity Blondes. I think they're actually a great tag team. I wish they were not in this spot. I understand. You need the show. Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson beating up tag teams. Why not get Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth? Why aren't they in this spot? They're a useless tag team that nobody likes. Everybody loves the Varsity Blondes. I would have the same problem if you put the Acclaimed in this spot. You gotta put guys in these spots that nobody really cares about. Last week they did what they did because they're building to Wheeler Yuta eventually joining these guys. That's the whole plan here. This didn't make any sense. And what the hell are they doing with Julia Hart? She went from being, the happy cheerleader, smiles, all that stuff, getting sprayed in the face. She would walk around, wave to the fans, talk to the fans and something, like the little kids around the thing. Now she's just sitting there on the stairs with the saddest face in the world. If she's not happy being with the Varsity Blondes, why the hell is she still with them? What are they doing with this? It seems like the window of opportunity to turn her on them to join the House of Black has just passed them by. I don't want to see them start this whole angle with Julia Hart happen on AEW, regular television, and then be the switch be flipped and turned on completely on Dark Elevation when Brian Pillman and Griff Garrison and Julia Hart usually are. It's just, what are they doing with her, and how much longer are they going to drag this out? It feels like she should have did this the night that the time that you had Brody and them make their debut as a tag team. That should have been the night that she turned and pulled off the eye patch and had the same thing or whatever and joined the House of Black. I don't know what they're doing with her. I just don't. We have William Regal on comedy for this one, watching over his tag team straight away, all 4-man brawl, in which it wasn't all 4-man brawl. It was pretty much Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson beat the fuck out of the Varsity Blondes for about 90% of this match. Yeah, the Varsity Blondes got a little bit in. They didn't get as much in as Wheeler Yuta did, but they got their asses beat. Griff Garrison gets the paradigm, eats the Death Rider. I'm sorry, Griff Garrison gets the Psycho knee as Bryan gets the Death Rider. They don't end it there though, as they both Danielson starts stomping his way on Griff Garrison as Pillman is getting elbowed the fuck out of him by Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley puts in a rear naked choke. That is it, the tap out, and these boys pick up the win. Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson basically beat the shit out of and massacred the Varsity Blondes. Again, not really happy with the fact that you had to bury the Varsity Blondes. Is there a reason that they needed to kill, they needed to just pretty much kill the Varsity Blondes? I don't know. I honestly think they could have did something else. Steve Avalon, who's not doing anything. Ryan Nemeth could have been brought in and they could have been killed. Moxley gets on the mic and says he's fortunate to compete against and learn from the best. Well, there's only one man whose opinion he ever cared about, and that was his lordship, William Regal. He says that seal of approval from his for him is a badge of honor. But he earned that through pain, blood, and dislocated joints. He wears the Blackpool badge of honor just like the American Dragon. Moxley says they were forged in combat, and if anyone wants to get in the ring with them, they best step up or get stepped on. It says, if anyone thinks they can ride with the three of the most sadistic individuals, they're not giving out free passes. Talent needs to be reach deep down and find the place where they love pain. He says people want a badge of honor from the Blackpool Combat Club. They have to earn it the hard way. And there is the name of this group. The Blackpool Combat Club. I fucking love it. It's great. Is it the best name in the world? Probably not, but it's definitely not one of the worst. It's definitely probably one of the best names they've come up with in a while. Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah, you go through the trials and tribulations you have to deal with William Regal. You get William Regal, John Moxley, and Bryan Danielson's seal of approval. You earn that name. You earn the moniker of being a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. And this is going to be great for AEW. You got guys like Wheeler Yuta who could come into this. Maybe they bring a Lee Moriarty in this. Maybe Griff Garrison or Brian Pillman Jr. says, we've been getting our asses kicked since Malachi Black came in and pretty much sprayed Julia Hart. We've been getting our asses kicked all the time. We need to do something about this, and one of them just leaves the other one. Who knows? So here comes MJF. I can't wait to see what happens with the BCC. We'll have to figure out, see what happens going on. We'll talk about more of what could be happening with that very, very soon. MJF says, it comes out and he says he meant what he said because unlike Mr. Wardlow over here, I am a man of my word. If he said if you won the TNT title, you could keep it. But, it's such a shame that you didn't win because you weren't good enough to beat Scorpio Sky. Before we get back to him, let's talk about CM Punk. He said he had CM Punk beat up Evolution just like he had him beat twice in Chicago, which is why CM Punk needed to cheat. He doesn't know where or when, but there will be a rematch, and CM Punk will have the most embarrassing loss of his entire career. That right there tells you all you need to know. CM Punk is beating Adam Hangman Page at the pay-per-view at Double or Nothing. CM Punk is going to be the one to lose the championship to MJF at probably All Out. That would be what I would say. Or Full Gear, one of those two. And it would be in a humiliating way. He says it won't be over until he attends Punk's funeral and pisses on his grave. He tells the fans they like Wardlow because they're inbred. He then claims he will call Wardlow Pig now because that's what he is. A greedy little pig. If it wasn't for MJF, nobody would know who Wardlow was. Got a point. He says he repays him by costing him his biggest match and asking for a release from his contract. He says you didn't sign the deal with just anybody. You signed the deal with the devil, and those deals are ironclad. He's going to make Piggy's life a living hell. He claims he wants to kick Wardlow's mother out of her house, and Wardlow will say nothing. This leads to Wardlow coming down and immediately wipes out MJF's security. But then all of AEW has to get a hold of him. MJF tells him, you don't work for AEW. You work for me. And I don't want you around here anymore, so you're trespassing. So you know what? I'm going to still pay you. But I'm going to pay you to stay home. So the next few weeks, months, and years, I'm just going to keep paying you and to stay at home until these people here don't even remember you and forget that you even existed. And he says, get this man out of here now. So Wardlow walks away. MJF then says, we need to shoot down a rumor. He says, people think the Pinnacle is over. That's wrong. It's never been better, especially with this piece of trash out of here. Starting next week with the FTR in a match, they start moving up. And Sean Spears says, when you're in the pinnacle, you're always on top. Great, great stuff. MJF is a bastard. The fact that he is going to hold that, how is Wardlow going to get to MJF? That is a question. And yeah, if MJF loses the match for MJF at Double or Nothing is going to be him versus Wardlow with Wardlow's contract on the line. If MJF wins, Wardlow has to stay at home or whatever. If Wardlow wins, MJF has to release Wardlow from his contract. That is obviously where this is going. How do we get to that? That is the fun part because we get to sit back and watch and see how. So I'm excited to see what happens with with all this. MJF losing to Wardlow right now would not be a bad thing. You don't want to beat Wardlow. Sure, you don't want to beat him. And you have time between now. Like, MJF could lose at Double or Nothing. And you have between Double or Nothing and All Out, and that's months. That's not just a month, that's months. To build MJF up. MJF gets a bunch of wins. MJF climbs to the #1 rank. And MJF gets the title shot at Double or Nothing. Now, if you want to hold off the title match until Full Gear, that's even longer. And it could be beneficial too. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But this is getting very interesting. What happens between Wardlow and MJF? And how do we get to the match between Wardlow and MJF? With Wardlow's contract being on the line. Wardlow, of course, winning. Of course, he's going to have to go through Sean Spears. He's going to have to go through Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. We'll have to see what happens. Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal. These guys have history and they wouldn't shut up about it. All they talked about was the Ring of Honor. All about the Ring of Honor past. I mean, ever since Tony Khan about Ring of Honor, the announcers just can't shut up about Ring of Honor. I mean, yes, a lot of guys in AEW have history with Ring of Honor. But you don't have to bring it up every 2 minutes. Like, I'm pretty sure they forgot to mention that. I think the reason that Jay Lethal is bald is because wasn't his hair on the line in a match against Adam Cole and Adam Cole beat him? Isn't that right? Like, something happened and Adam Cole shaved Jay Lethal's hair. I think I saw that somewhere or someone talk about that. So, yeah. But, yeah, that they talked about, like, their matches. The fact that before the night's match, it was a 3-2. It was they've had 5 matches, and Cole's up 3-2. Now, this was a good match. Like, Matt on the finish, not really caring for the distraction finish, low blow stuff that we've been seeing lately. It's just, we see it too much, in my opinion. I think they need to dial that back. But, obviously, Adam Cole's not losing this match. Adam Cole's supposed to be getting the match at Battle of the Belts. That's obviously where they want this to go. Adam Cole's not winning the title at the pay-per-view at Battle of the Belts, which apparently is going to be either live or taped, because it's going to be on a Friday when they do the next version. But the two-man grapple in the corner, which leads to a cheap shot from Adam Cole. He then remains in control with the series of strikes until Lethal responds with a drop kick of his own. Cole then rocks him with a kick of his own, but Jay hits the backbreaker and slams Cole onto the mat straight after the nice combination. Lethal misses with the springboard dropkick, but Cole takes too long posing, and Lethal hits a dropkick to the back. This leads to Jay hitting the top rope two tope suicidas, and while he avoids the third one, it is not long as Jay dives from the top turnbuckle to him again, and we see Red Dragon has appeared at the entrance to distracts Cole, which allows him to send Lethal into the steps. So we go to commercial break, come back. Things are getting, this is just a really good match. But Cole going grabs the so in the ring, Cole sends Lethal face first into the turnbuckle. However, the former Ring of Honor star fires back with his strikes to his own. He tries over and over and over again to get the figure 4 on. First, he gets kicked away. Then he gets rolled up. But he's like, no, motherfucker, I'm putting you in this damn thing. And he puts him in the figure 4. So here comes Red Dragon down to the mat, down to the ring. And so Red Dragon is down there. Cole eventually gets over to the ring. He drags the ring skirt, allowing Bobby Fish to distract Lethal. He eats a super kick, but Lethal reverses the boom attempt into a cutter. Cole reverses the Lethal injection into a mid-air super kick, because Adam Cole's mid-air super kicks are always just spot on time. He hits the Panama Sunrise, but Lethal kicks out. How many times has Adam Cole actually won with the Panama Sunrise? I do not know many. He's then able to go for the Lethal injection as he has him rolled up. The Red Dragon has distraction. And it's an O'Connor roll. He gets kicked off. He goes for the Lethal injection, but gets hit with the low blow. Cole hits the boom. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole picks up the win. Grabs the mic and says, "Nobody on this planet deserves to be the AEW World Champion more than him. Hangman stole his victory, and in 2 out of the last 3 matches they've had, he has won. Last week when he was pinning the Jungle Boy, he saw fear in Paige's eye, and Cole says the champion caught lightning in a bottle at Revolution. Next time they fight, he's going to shove that bottle right up his ass. This Hangman is a coward who doesn't have the guts to come out here to face all 3 of us at once." And it's like, why do you fucking say that? Because you know he's going to come out. So out comes the champ. He starts attacking all 3. He takes his belt off. Cole has this look of like, what are you going to do with that? So he takes the belt and just smacks Cole across the face and starts fighting the other 2 off. This leads to a trio attack, and then eventually the tag champs and Christian come on running off, leading Adam Cole leaves holding the championship, putting it on his shoulder. So you know that match is coming up very soon. This entire thing was because Adam Cole went from the number 1 rank to the number 4 rank over the last few weeks, which is surprising. But that is that. So obviously it's going to be a battle of the belts. That's where this match is going to happen. It'll be the last chance for Adam Cole, as he is not getting the match at the pay-per-view. Obviously that looks like that's going to be CM Punk. Come back from commercial break, and we have Sami Guevara versus Tayconti. I expected them to be in Mexico, unless that's already done and over with. He says he can't change what happened with the TNT title, but he hasn't lost his love for the ring. He will always do things in this ring to make you stand up and chant, "Holy shit." He says if he's going to pay for it, because people have told him, you can't do this forever, you're going to pay for it in the end, which is absolutely true. But if he's going to, it'll be worth it, as the fans give him everything he wanted until now. He gets the mic and says they want payback, and says Paige Vanzant will get her ass kicked like she did her entire fighting career. Honey, please, let Sami do the talking. I hate to be that guy, but you're talking just, it's not there. Your English is not there yet. Sami speaks perfect English. You just sit there and be an ass kicker that we know you are. This leads to Dan Lambert appearing. He claims that Paige had appearance in places like Texas, but has commitments to not be here in Texas. But you can subscribe to her fan page and see why Orange Cassidy always has his hands in his pockets. Claims that they have Tiny Tim and Lucha Horace. Lambert says they can kiss the match goodbye, but can't. He kisses the belt and says and Sami says, "Dan, we know we've been living rent free in your mind for a while. But if you knew what me and Tay did while wearing that belt, then you would know that we live in your mouth." He's like, "Oh, come on! Sami, don't tell us that. I don't want to know any of that shit. And Dan, wash your belts. You know that. Wash your belts." So, I don't know when the match is going to happen. I'd say probably Double or Nothing. They're going to hold it off. Paige Vanzant's off being trained by Gangrel. So, that's probably why you aren't going to see her wrestle for a bit. But yeah, her first match will probably be on pay-per-view. It's a shame because you know she's going to win. She's gonna beat Tay. And I will say this. In another universe, another reality, we're getting Paige Vanzant versus Brandy Rhodes. I'll take Paige Vanzant versus Tayconti over Paige Vanzant versus Brandy Rhodes. Any day of the week. Any day of the year. Any day of the century. Just saying. Talk about a match that has no fucking heat and a feud that has no heat and nobody gives a shit about because none of it made any fucking sense. Layla Hush versus Red Velvet. Layla Hush wins by using a trusty piece of ring setup, one of those turnbuckle connectors that she had hiding while the referee took the other one. Layla continues to attack. Out comes Chris Statlander, charging to make the save. She looks different, obviously. She doesn't have the alien stuff anymore. She has blue in her hair. And that's that. Stuff from Jay Cutler and Mark Sterling. I don't give a shit. We go to commercial. We come back and we have Thunder Rosa to the stage before she has a word. Vicky Guerrero comes out with her "excuse me," says a bunch of nonsense. Rosa eventually gets attacked from behind by Nyla Rose and lays her out. And obviously, this is the first title match she's going to see. So, just like when the Faker won the championship 10 months ago, who was her first defense against? Nyla Rose. That match was a train wreck. Unfortunately, Thunder Rosa is a better professional wrestler in every stretch of the imagination than the Faker, who should never be seen on this show again unless she is on the arm of Adam Cole. Yeah, Rosa lays her out. Rosa gets laid out, and obviously that's where they're going for Battle of the Belts. Who gets the title match at the pay-per-view? I don't know. The ranking shows Serena Deeb, so I think that's where they're going to go with that. Speaking of the rankings, why is the former champion in number 4 when she should be off the rankings? When Sheeta lost the title last year, she fell out of the top 5. Why is this dumb bitch still up there? The delusional moronic dumbass needs to be moved off of the top 5 rankings and never make it back up. Plain and simple. Main event time, Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia versus John Silva and Alex Reynolds. It's crazy to see that we're going to have the Jericho's Appreciation Society start from the top and take them out. Obviously, 2.0 or whatever they're going to be now, Matt Morant and Angelo Parker, they are a tag team, so they're going to do their thing. But Jericho and Daniel Garcia, they're going to start at the top. And John Silva, this match was John Silva gets a huge spotlight again because this guy is fucking amazing. Just saying that right now. They gave him his usual high spots, going out there, going absolutely batshit crazy on everybody. He takes on the entire JAS and takes all of them out. Unfortunately for the Dark Order, the referee gets held back by our boy Daniel Garcia here. And basically what happens is Jericho hits, Jericho introduces Floyd to Reynolds' back, allowing Garcia to put in the sharpshooter, and that was the end of the match as JAS pick up the win, beating the number 1 ranked team. Now, they say they beat up pro wrestlers. This is something I just like. Obviously, Kingston and then they're going to come back eventually. They're just selling their injuries still. They'll be back very soon. But you say you beat up pro wrestlers, and yeah, you won the match. Why aren't you beating these guys up? Because the Dark Order was also out there, but Jericho was able to trick the referee into thinking that he got attacked by the Dark Order, so the referee said, nope, you guys got to go to the back. My question is, you say you beat up pro wrestlers, why didn't you just, after you won the match, start beating up Silva and Reynolds to be part of that moniker that you beat up pro wrestlers? I don't know, could have did a lot better with that. Overall, a really, really good show here. Not a bad match on this show. And the Faker was nowhere to be seen, so that ratings drop will hopefully never be a thing again. And the only thing we need to do is get rid of fucking Jade Cargill as AEW TBS Women's Champion, because that title is absolutely atrocious right now. I'm not a big fan of the fact that we're going straight to Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose again. Nyla Rose gets the first title shot after the champion the champion wins the championship. We got this last year when the former champion won the championship. What was the first title defense? Nyla Rose. we're going down that route again. Obviously, this will be for Battle of the Belts. Thunder Rosa is going to win. And to all you dumb motherfuckers out there who are like, oh, the Faker needs to win the championship in her hometown. She's not getting another title shot for a very, very long time, if ever again. She could be in her hometown in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but she's not getting a title match. Get that out of your fucking head. She fucking sucked. She doesn't deserve to be in the fucking women's division. She should be on Adam Cole's arm. Let Thunder Rosa go out there and show you how to be a fucking women's champion, because she's going to take that title and make it as great as she can. Why Nyla Rose is getting the first title shot is beyond me. Would you want to give Serena Deeb the first title shot if it's not going to be at the pay-per-view? No. I think Serena Deeb and... They're going to get through the Serena Deeb and Shida match, which is not going to happen in the pay-per-view. That's going to probably happen if they do an April special show. Because I know that not Serena. Hikaru Shida came back for that one Rampage, and then she went back to Japan, and she's been wrestling over in Japan, where she has commitments for the rest of this month, and I think half the next month. She had a 1 day back here in the States. She went back to Japan, has been wrestling over there. But after Deeb beats Shida again, which is probably going to happen, Deeb is going to get the title match at the pay-per-view. Should Deeb win? Absolutely not. Because Thunder Rosa should hold that title till at least Full Gear. Now, if you want to try and keep Serena Deeb away from Thunder Rosa till Full Gear, and have Serena Deeb win the championship there, by all means do that. But, and what does that mean for the AEW Women's Championship at Full Gear? At Double or Nothing? I do not know. So I'm going to sit there and say that it's definitely going to be Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa at Double or Nothing. Battle of the Belts looks to be Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose is a good hand to go out there and have your first title defense against if you're going to be a babyface, which at least this time it's not going to be two heels trying to have a match. That was a mistake. This time it's going to be proper because Thunder Rosa is the biggest babyface in the women's division. She is the most beloved woman in the women's division. And Nyla Rose can go out there and heal up, and actually the people aren't going to go, who do we cheer for and who do we boo? So, CM Punk going for the AEW World Championship, I'm fine with it, I guess. If it all leads to MJF winning the World Championship later this year, I'm fine with it. It'll probably make... I mean, Adam Hangman Page, we can't say has had a lackluster title reign, but it hasn't been as good as I think it could have been. I don't know. It just feels like it's like Adam Page's title reign peaked when he won the world title. It's not as bad as, the Faker when she won her title and that title went through the mud. He's had a good title reign. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it feels less than compared to when Omega or Moxley or Jericho held it. It just feels like he had his big moment when he won the title, and I don't know. It's like the whole Danielson thing. I don't think everyone expected his 2 matches with Danielson to help elevate him to the same heights of a Kenny Omega, a John Moxley, or a Chris Jericho as for being a title holder, and it really didn't do that. So, I don't know. Adam Cole could win the championship, but why would you do that if you're already teasing CM Punk to win the winning the title? You're going to make Adam Cole a transitional champion. Would you want a transitional champion this early in this title's lineage? I don't think so. So, Cole will be AEW World Champion eventually, just isn't going to happen right now. Does the title look good over his shoulder? Absolutely. He's going to rock that title with pride whenever he fucking wins it, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Paige is going to win it, is going to lose it probably to CM Punk at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. CM Punk's going to hold it until he loses it to MJF. MJF said he's going to have one more match. He's going to have another match with him. Oh yeah, before the main event, we also had Wheeler Yuta backstage, confronting him. Is like, dude, these guys let you sleep on your on their couch. They took you in, they brought you to this company, and now you're gonna do that by wanting to go be a part of the Moxley Danielson club, and he's like, dude, I love these guys to death. I never liked you. You never liked me. Whatever. But it's not about being the best friend. It's about being the best pro wrestler. And he just walks out, and it's like, yeah, Wheeler Yuta wants to join the Blackpool Combat Club, and he's definitely going to he'll definitely be a good fit to be somebody. And maybe, just maybe, when it's all said and done, Wheeler Yuta will have the rub like Sammy Guevara got from Chris Jericho from the Inner Circle, which is basically what happened. Is like the Inner Circle was pretty much put together to build Sammy Guevara to where he is today. When the Sammy Guevara and them get the match, obviously the pay-per-view is probably going to be with Sami and Tay take on Paige, Vanzant, and I wouldn't say Scorpio Sky, probably Ethan Page. And that match will happen there. Obviously, Paige Vanzant should not be losing her first match. We'll have to wait and see. So many questions, so much time. We have so much time to get to the pay-per-view. Double or Nothing. We have 2 months. I think it's going to be on the 23rd of... It's going to be... I think it's on the 26th of May. I believe so. No, it's going to be probably on the 23rd, 24th of May. Oh, that's April. My bad. No, it's probably going to be on, like, I think it's the 28th or 29th of May. So we got a little over 2 months. Still, there's a lot of stuff that can happen between now and then. Injuries can happen. Debuts can happen. A lot of things can happen. We have Super Card of Honor next Friday. FTR takes on the Briscoes. Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty. Swerve Strickland versus Alex Zane, I think it is. Bandito versus Jonathan Gresham. Which I believe that Jonathan Gresham is signed to Ring of Honor. It just hasn't been said yet. Because Jonathan Gresham has been backstage at AEW twice. Why else would he be there if it's not to do something with Ring of Honor? So, Super Card of Honor is going to be happening. I'm not going to watch it that night. I want to get through SmackDown and Rampage. I'll probably watch it on Saturday sometime. I got nothing else to watch on Saturday after my broadcast is done. So I'll probably find a way to get Super Card of Honor set up and everything, and I'll watch it. And I might get my thoughts on that Saturday. Oh, wait, no, that's WrestleMania. Shoot. Yeah, I could probably watch Super Card of Honor and give my thoughts and then do a WrestleMania later in the night. I don't know. But there's a lot going on with that. And just so much left for us to think about. This is going to be... 2022 is going to be a massive year for all Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor and everything else in professional wrestling. I can't wait to see what happens next week. We have Darby versus Andrade. That should be a damn good match. We have FTR versus the Ass Boys, or Billy Colton and Austin Gunn, and so much more stuff will be announced as we get through the week. That is your AEW on TBS review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club, and find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I will see you guys on Friday for SmackDown and Rampage. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys